A guy is at the supermarket when he notices a very attractive woman waving at him. He waves back and goes up to her. "Hello," she says. The man is trying to figure out who she is, and he is having difficulties in placing where he knows her from. He asks, "Do you know me?" Where she responds, "Yes, I think you are the father of one of my children." The man's mind travels back to the one time and only time he ever had an affair on his wife. "Oh my God, are you that stripper from my bachelor party? We had sex on the poker table in front of all my friends, and your stripper partner whipped my ass with a wet celery stick?" The woman is stunned, then looks in his eyes and calmly responds, "No, I'm your son's teacher." A bus full of nuns crashes and they all die. Reaching the gates of heaven, St. Peter warmly welcomes them. Peter, however, informs them that before entering, they must answer a single question before entry to heaven. He tells them to form a single-file line, which they do. Peter asks the first nun in line, "Sister, have you ever come into contact with a penis?" The sister hesitates before admitting, "Well, there was this one time when I somewhat touched one with the tip of my pinky finger." Peter instructs her, "Very well, sister. Dip the tip of your pinky finger in the holy water and you may proceed." She complies. Turning to the second nun, Peter poses the same question. "Sister, have you ever touched a penis?" The nun replies, There was this one time when I held one for a moment." Peter responds, "All right, sister. Now simply wash your hands in the holy water and you may enter." She follows his instructions. Suddenly there is commotion in the line, with one nun attempting to cut ahead of another. Peter, observing the disturbance, questions the nun. "Sister Teresa, what is happening? There's no need to rush." Sister Teresa explains, "Well, if I have to gargle this stuff, I'd rather do it before Sister Irene sticks her ass in it." 3 sailors found themselves stuck on an island inhabited by cannibals. The cannibals said to them, "Do as we say, and we won't kill you." They had no choice then to do as they say, or they would get killed anyways. "Go into the forest and gather the 10 first fruits you find and come back here," the cannibals told the sailors. The first sailor went into the forest, grabbed 10 apples and went back. "Shove them up your ass without flinching and we will let you go," the cannibals told him. Which he did, but he failed the task, so the cannibals killed him. The second sailor, scared after what he just witnessed, ran into the forest and got back with 10 cherries. Once again, the cannibals told him to shove them up his butt without making a face. "This will be easy," the sailor thought. After shoving up 9 cherries, he burst into laughter when on the last 10th cherry, and the cannibals instantly kills him. Later in heaven, the first person with the apples asked the second guy, "Why did you start laughing? You could have survived." He responded, "I saw the third guy coming out the forest with 10 pineapples." A man steps into the shower. After his wife just finished her shower, the doorbell to ring. Quickly wrapping herself in a towel, she runs downstairs to open the door. There, she finds their next-door neighbor, Bob, standing there. Without waiting for her to speak, with a smirk, Bob says, "I'll give you $800 to drop that towel." After a brief pause, the woman agrees to the deal, revealing herself butt naked to Bob. After a short moment of Bob staring at her, he hands her $800 and quickly runs away. She wraps herself in the towel and heads back upstairs. In the bathroom, her husband asks, "Who was that?" She answers, "It was Bob, our next-door neighbor." The husband responds, "Great. Did he mention anything about the $800 he owes me?" A man enters a bar with his pet monkey. He sits down at the bar and orders a beer. The bartender gives him a beer and watching as the man's monkey plays around along the bar. The monkey finds a peanut and swallows it whole with the skin and all, then grabs a lime slice and does the same. Eventually, the monkey hops onto a pool table, steals the cue ball, and again, swallows it entirely. Shocked, the bartender says, "Do you see what your monkey just did?" The man looks up from his beer, replies, "No, what did he do?" The bartender tells him. The man apologizes and covers the damages, then leaves the bar with his monkey. A month passes without the man going back to the bar, but he eventually returns with his monkey. While ordering a beer, the monkey climbs up on the bar, grabs a cherry, shoves it into his ass, pulls it out, and swallows it whole. The bartender, stunned, says, "Do you see what your monkey just did?" The man, looking up from his beer, responds casually, "No, what's he done now?" The bartender tells him what the monkey did, and the man calmly responds, "Oh, he does that now. After the cue ball incident, he ensures he can shit it out before swallowing." A farmer goes out and buys a new young rooster. As soon as he brings him home, the young rooster rushes out in the yard and screws all 200 of the farmer's hens. "Must say I'm impressed," the farmer said. At lunchtime, the young rooster again screws all of the 200 hens. The farmer is not impressed anymore. He is getting worried. Next morning, not only is the rooster screwing the hens again, but he is screwing the turkeys, ducks, and even the cows. Later that same day, the farmer looks out into the barnyard and finds the rooster stretched out, limp as a rag. His eyes closed, dead, and a bunch of vultures circling overhead in the sky. The farmer runs out, looks down at the young rooster's limp body and says, "You deserved it, you horny bastard!" The young rooster opens one eye, points up at the vultures with his wing, and says, "Shh, they are about to land." 3 different couples seek to get married, all at the same church, each representing different age groups. A young couple, a middle-aged couple, and an elderly couple. They meet with the priest to discuss potential wedding dates. The priest lays down a condition. If you wish to wed in my church, you cannot have any sex for 1 month. A month passes, and the 3 couples return to the church to share their experiences with the priest. Turning to the elderly couple, the priest asks, "Have you successfully gone through the whole month without sex?" "Yes, it was quite easy," replies the elderly couple. Next, the priest questions the middle-aged couple, who respond, "It was challenging, but we managed to make it without sex for the whole month." Turning to the young couple, the priest asks, "And how about you two?" "We couldn't achieve it," confesses the boyfriend. Curious, the priest asks, "Please tell me why." "Well, my girlfriend had a can of corn in her hand and she accidentally dropped it. When she bent over to pick it up, that's when it happened." In response, the priest declares, "You are not welcome in my church." To which the boyfriend says, "We're not welcome in the supermarket either." A woman decided to make a surprise visit to her newlywed son's house, only to be taken aback when she found her daughter-in-law lounging on the couch, completely butt naked. Soft music wafted through the room, and the air was filled with the scent of perfume. Shocked, the mother-in-law asked, "What are you doing?" "I'm waiting for Johnny to come home from work," she responded casually. "But you're naked," the mother-in-law said. "Well, this is my love dress," explained the daughter-in-law. "Johnny loves me wearing this dress. It excites him every time he sees me in it, and he becomes romantic, ravishing me for hours. He just can't get enough." The mother-in-law left the house and upon returning home decided to try a similar approach. She undressed, showered, applied her best perfume, dimmed down the lights, played a romantic song, and laid down on the couch, eagerly awaiting her husband's return. When her husband finally walked in, he saw her posing naked on the couch and asked, "What are you doing?" "This is my love dress," she whispered sensually. "It could use some ironing," he said and walked right past her. A mother had 3 daughters who were all virgins and about to get married. Feeling a bit concerned about their marital experiences, she asked them to promise to send a postcard from their honeymoon describing how the marital sex felt. The first daughter sent a card from Hawaii just 2 days after the wedding. The card simply said, "Nescafe." Confused, the mother went to her kitchen and picked up the Nescafe jar, finding the slogan, "Good till the last drop." Blushing, she was pleased for her daughter. The second daughter sent her card from Vermont a week after the wedding, and the message read, "Marlboro." The mother went straight to her husband's cigarettes and read from the pack, "Extra long, king size." She was once again slightly embarrassed but happy for her daughter. The third daughter embarked on her honeymoon to Cape Town. A week passed with no word, another week went by, and still there was nothing. After a whole month, the postcard finally arrived. With shaky handwriting, it read, "South African Airways." The mother, fearing the worst, took out her latest You magazine, flipped through the pages, and found the ad for South African Airways. The ad boldly declared, 7 times a day, 7 days a week, both ways. A man decides to try his luck in Las Vegas and ends up losing all his money. Broke and desperate, he flags down a cab, even though he can't afford it. He explains his situation to the driver, promising to pay him back and giving him his phone number. However, the driver bluntly tells him to get out of the cab. Determined, the man walks all the way to the airport to get back home. After some time, he gathers the courage to return to Vegas and, to his surprise, he hits the jackpot this time. With his newfound winnings, he's ready to head to the airport. As he approaches the line of cabs, he spots the same driver who kicked him out previously. Eager for revenge, he decides to play a prank. He gets into the first cab and asks, "How much to the airport?" The driver responds, $15. Seizing the opportunity, he follows up with, "Perfect, and how much to get a hand job on the way there?" The cab driver tells him to get the F out of his cab. Undeterred, he repeats the same question to each consecutive cab driver, receiving the same response, being kicked out of every cab in the line. Finally, he reaches the last driver, the one that kicked him out from his last trip to Vegas. With a mischievous smile, he asks, "Hey, how much to the airport?" The driver responds, $1.15. The man hands him the money and cheerfully says, "Great, let's go." As the cab pulls away, the man enjoys the satisfaction of passing all the other drivers who are left staring, while he gives them a thumbs up from the back seat.